Said, hey, what's going on? Hello, Scarlight Squad. I'm Rank Snail. Here's a deck profile for you. This is kind of a mixture of Thunder monsters. We have the Thunderclap Skywolf, some Batteryman monsters you'll see, and some Thunder Dragons. So I like to call this deck CBD, or Clapping Battery Dragons. I also tried to make a Area 51 joke in there, but no such luck. So yeah, let's get started with this deck. Two Skywolf. Skywolf is kind of the reason why this whole deck came to existence in the first place. If you play traps such as Call of the Haunted, Back to the Front, and other things you'll see later on, you can special them from your grave, and when you do, you can blow up all face-up monsters your opponent controls. Very great, doesn't target, kind of like a Tort on their turn, essentially, or Argeki, I guess, on their turn. You just can't do you can't conduct your battle phase the turn you do this, so obviously you do it during your opponent's turn. Getting in the grave is, pretty standard, pretty easy. It's a fun card. To help you get in the grave, this is where the batteries come in. We play 3 solar. If you bring it out, you can mill any thunder. So you go for the Thunderclap Skywolf. And then if another thunder is brought out to the field while he's on the field, you get a token. That token's level 1, so you can go into Link Karibo. And he has an additional effect that I don't really use, in that you can target a battery you control in your grave, and his name gets changed to it. So, okay overall. 9-volt is also pretty standard. When you summon it, you can pretty much search any battery. So you summon it, you typically want to search your solar. If you already have, solar on the field, you can typically go for fuel cell. And if you do have fuel cell already, you can go for the big guy, industrial. 9-volt's attack and defense will double during the turn you do that. However, he is destroyed during your end phase. So what's good is that if he's in the grave, you can call the Haunted him during your opponent's end phase, get a search, and then his attack and defense will stay until the end of your next turn, which is pretty good. Fuel Cell is better now. He wasn't really good for a while, but if you have 2 batteries, you can special him for free. And he has a really nice soft once per turn effect, in that if you tribute another Batteryman monster, such as that token that Solar generates, you can bounce any card your opponent has. That does target, but bouncing's really great. It's kind of the best removal, in my opinion, overall. It gets rid of almost any issues. And if the issues still persist, or if you want to get rid of some other things, you have Industrial Strength. He works well with banishing your Thunder Dragons, because when you do that, because they're all Thunder, you can destroy a monster and dispel a trap on the field. The only downside is he's kind of like BLS. You have to banish 2 monsters and 2 batteries, specifically 2 batteries, to bring him to the field. He's nice at 26. Wish he was just a little bit higher, but that does it for the Batteryman monsters. As for the Thunder Dragons, unfortunately I only have 1 Thunder Dragon Dark to show you, but I do have 3 Thunder Dragon Matrix. Thunder Dragon Dark, you discard it, search itself, and then if it's banished, you can add a Thunder Dragon card. So you can search the fusion if you choose to, which I do play just for the utility of it. Matrix, you can ditch it to boost a Thunder monster by 500 attack. Really good for 9-volt, because it gets them to 2500, or even Solar, because it just gets them to 2000. Really good to beat over stuff with it. It's also 1, so you have some plays there. And if it's banished, you can search itself. So really good in going to your bigger monsters. As for the other things we play in this deck, 2 Maw Hunters, they just get you extra summons, also Thunders, so good to play. 1 Thunder King, this is a Thunder deck, so it's nice to lock down the board a little bit. And 2 Honest to round off the main monsters. Being able to just use it as a hand trap is really nice, especially when your batteries just kind of sit on the board and, well, you just don't want them to go away. As for the spells, we don't play very much. 2 fusions. I don't really use the fusion summoning effect to bring out your Thunder Boss monsters instead during the main phase, except the turn it's in the grave. Or it goes to the grave, you can banish it and search any Thunder monster, which is awesome. Being able to search any Thunder is really great. In some previous builds that I had this deck, you can search the Kaiju if you choose to play that, because one of the Kaijus is Thunder, which is pretty cool. But it's just nice to have. You can ditch it off some of your other cards. Foolish just is another target for Skywolf to get in the grave. Call by the Grave. I have two. Only have one, real card at the moment. But if you get stunned with like Ash or Ghost Ogre, it can really be a problem in this deck. It's kind of ironic, really, because you're stunning your opponent in this deck. But Call by the Grave just kind of helps you continue to go off and make sure your your stuns work. So yeah, having two Call by the Grave is actually pretty helpful. Two Twin Twisters to get rid of some back row. You have many ways of blowing up monsters and back row in this deck. Twin Twisters just get you a card in the grave, essentially. That's just why I really like it. Thunder Dragon Fusion is a really good target for it, as is your Sky Wolf. That does it for spells. For traps, we have 3 Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted just brings back any monster, essentially, in your grave. You usually want to go for Sky Wolf. So your opponent attacks, you activate this, bring out Skywolf, and they lose their whole board. Very helpful. Next is World Legacy Secret. It's basically a Call of the Haunted, but you can only target a level 5 or higher monster. So Skywolf is a 7, so essentially you're still targeting for that. And it also has an effect where if you play Mech Knights, there's an additional thing, but we don't play Mech Knights, so it's just essentially another Call of the Haunted. Back to the Front is probably the MVP in this deck, really. It just allows you to target any monster in your grave and special summon it. It's not chained to this card at all. And putting it in defense is not the greatest, but for some of your monsters, having that is just nicer. You don't have to worry about damage or whatever. And if they honest you, or if you honest them, it goes both ways, I suppose. But Back to the Front just really gets anything you need. 1 Thunder Dragon, 100 Thunders. You can search this with your Thunder Dragon Dark, which is also a really cool target. This essentially allows you to bring out as much copies as a Thunder monster as you can play. The only downside is they're banished when they leave the field, and you can only bring out Thunder monsters that same turn. But this is just another target for searching, and a way to bring out multiple monsters at once. The last card we play in the main deck is 2 Storming. Storming is just really nice to get rid of your opponent's monsters. Like I said, bouncing is just probably the greatest removal of all time. That way you can ensure that your plays will go off, and helps with the extra deck too, which we'll see in just a bit. And with that, we will go into the extra deck now. I have a Caminari attack and a Thunder Dragon Titan. It's optional which way you want to go with this deck. If you choose to play with cards like Instant Fusion or more Thunder Dragons, Caminari Attack is a really good card to have. It helps you go into more of your Thunder Dragon plays, such as Titan. Titan just offers you protection, and if you activate a Thunder Dragon monster's effect at any time, you can destroy a card, which is great. That doesn't target. Colossus is kind of the broken Thunder King. Your opponent can't search with it. You can bring it out with like a battery on field, and then just ditch one of your Thunder Dragons, and if it would be destroyed, you can just banish the Thunder instead. So you get plays off both ways with your Thunder Dragon monsters. As for the other extra deck monsters, Lord Utopia, go into Prime, and make Utopia Lightning, just really good to beat over stuff with it, and it's called the Lightning, so might as well play in this deck. Tornado Dragon just helps get rid of back road, and you put stuff in the grave by detaching. Dweller's really nice right now. Locks down stuff in the grave. Really helpful. For the links, Boarload, it's Boarload, just really great when you actually establish a board and you just want to really make your opponent salty. Cerberus to get rid of pesky monsters that you can't get rid of. Phoenix to get rid of back row you can't really deal with. And Link Kuriboh, you have many ways to make it. It's really fun in this deck. If I had 2, you could play it at 2. It's actually really fun. 1 hit Shinigami just to boost your light monsters. I love the artwork of this card, so I just play it for the funsies. And the real Thunder Link you play is some Summoner. Excuse me. Doesn't really do anything good for you, but during your opponent's turn as a quick effect, you can pitch a card and bring back a Thunder monster that this card points to. So that's okay. Wish it could be both turns, but oh well. And lastly, 1 Scarlight, just because it's Scarlight. Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, peace.